It's 14:26 on the 26th of September, and unfortunately, it gives me awful displeasure to update that since contacting five establishments in Ireland, the Department of Housing, the Department of Justice, the county councils, and without any positive development, unfortunately, there's a failing in the services, unfortunately, that are offensive to this country's reputation on an international platform where the initiative of COVID-19 and the Brexit legislation that I have been responsible for have all been brought now into a position of precarious stances due to people in a community, a collective culprit of hate crime, culprits that are still confusing themselves with what's right and what's wrong. So now, unfortunately, all COVID-19 protocol has been offended, and COVID-19 developments have also been offended, and my research, my academic research since 2003, 2006 respectively, are also being offended. So there are people in this community that are being really irresponsible. They've already been responsible for quite a lot of unrest, disharmony, and a lot of troublesome behaviour. And as I'm of crime prevention, it gives me awful displeasure now to have to update that the belongings at 18 Rock Street and the keys to 18 Rock Street, where I've been staying since 2019, where there were damages incurred, as are visible and noticeable, are still a pressing issue that unfortunately representatives that I have spoken with aren't equipped to handle and process professionally, respectfully or properly. So now the standards are after dropping again, and that's really, really serious, since all the social reform and social justice that came from me offends the Constitution and democratic values. So this is quite dangerous. Theft of anyone's belongings is quite serious. Theft of all creative intellectual property is a dangerous matter, and the United Nations is aware now, without having the recompense that I'm due since unlawful care orders of my child in January 2017. These problems are spiralling out of control in a community where there have already been people causing problems that they haven't been sensible enough to handle properly or to provide the reparations that they have outstanding since actually 2006. So as I have been experiencing crimes of those in the healthcare services acting as mental health professionals, the issue of people suffering from mental illness and confusing themselves with other people's identities, unfortunately, is arising as an issue about what is in their remit and what isn't in their remit. And as we've already seen, they have already jeopardised their own safety and other people's innocence lives as well, and their safety as well. So this problem is ongoing. This is all based around farm fraud, and the Vatican, I hope, is aware of how dangerous it is, how dangerous and offensive it is for people to be disrespecting the church nuptials of the 30th of 3rd, 2015. Farm fraud is not supported. It's a crime, and as we already have seen in Tralee, there has been crime prevention, and there has been offences. There have been numerous offences that have been addressed and yet are still continuing. So it's really serious now again that there are people discussing my farm holdings in Tubbard Hill, Ardfart and Kilflin, Stacks Mountain, and that my child is illegally from my care, and that there are people suffering from mental illness still causing problems for innocent people with all these crimes that I'm tolerating. So this is just an update with regard to the offences against legislation that have come from my professional portfolio, most namely COVID-19, due to the unlawful detainments that I tolerated as a married mother due to criminals, I suppose, or ASBOs, whichever, that are preoccupied and really suffering from an obsession of the mind with regard to my land and my child as well. So these people haven't treated their mental illness, unfortunately, and they are putting wealth that has been recovered as a consequence of me at risk again, as they are all still owing debts that they haven't had the courage or bravery to address. So it's a sad sign of the times. As a qualified professional of the Department of Education, Agriculture and social protection. It's quite serious that there are people that aren't qualified or that don't have remit still causing problems with their mental illness in society due to farm fraud. These people, obviously, I don't know if they have homes of their own or if they have families of their own, but they've already caused awful risk, damage and harm, and the longer that this is assisted and supported, then unfortunately Brexit and COVID-19 that has arisen as a consequence of my experiences and the crimes that I have been experiencing are all put in jeopardy due to irresponsible individuals that aren't able or refusing, that are just plain right in wrongdoings, just serious. The matter is after getting out of control. So this matter is being brought to the attention of the European Court of Human Rights. That comment, plain right and wrongdoings, means that they haven't done anything. I mean, I must correct myself. They have done nothing right in their wrongdoings. So there's a very serious issue that's been brought to the attention of the Vatican and the European Court of Human Rights. Those that are benefiting from the social reform and social justice as a consequence of me, unfortunately, are putting everyone at risk again. So it's a sad sign of the times. The belongings at 18 Rock Street that are after being interfered with or that are stolen, that puts people's integrity at risk. You know, people have to uphold their honourability. People that aren't qualified and confusing themselves with other people's identity and using other people's property puts everyone's integrity at risk. There's, you know, a world stage out there, and I have a very impeccable track record, clean track record, and it is awfully displeasurable to have to say that the COVID-19 legislation is subject to fraud now as well, and offence that people haven't honoured the integrity of that research and recovery that I initiated since 2006 as a portfolio of work in the area of mental health. So those that aren't treating their mental illness and that are offending the Vatican Church, I have huge concerns for their safety, offending such huge establishments, such important establishments that respect people's values in a democracy, in a democratic world. And as I have been of crime prevention, experiencing crime, it really puts all that crime prevention to waste as well. So these people are in society and they're holding belongings that they have no entitlement to, that they have no authority to be interfering with, and they're overstepping lines on farmland that I don't permit them to be discussing or to be trespassing upon. So this is just an update. I've contacted since 1400 hours county councils and departments, and all to no avail. So it's a sad sign of the times. As long as I'm experiencing crime, is our society safe, you know? So those that have been benefiting from my social reform and social justice, I'm putting their name to my intellectual creative property, that's all punishable crime. So I hope the European Court of Human Rights is hearing the update. It's very dangerous what's going on in County Kerry since 2006 with these people entitling themselves to wealth that doesn't belong to them and stealing money. So the IMF and the ECB are being made aware now as well that there has been wealth recovery as a consequence of me, and these people are still denigrating and disrespecting the value of wealth and bringing themselves into a very precarious position with the crimes that they're causing, that they've already suffered due to no cause of their own. So it's quite serious what I'm tolerating. As I said, Kerry University Hospital representatives and unlawful detainments and mentionings and breaches of my name, you know, and confidentiality and disclosure laws. All of these matters are really making this society unsafe and distrustful. So those people that don't have credibility or authority, I can't say they're making the world a safer place, and it brings me awful concern to say that this is another issue of ASBO behaviour of individuals that haven't treated or confronted their shortcomings, their failings and defects of character. We all have our failings and we all have to address where we are wrong, but there are people that are still compounding on the interest of the troubles that they've caused already. causing harm, damages and loss that they will have to pay for. So these people have been irresponsible, and I'm curious as to their level of ability to assume a position of authority when they haven't really been living up to standards, ethics, or values that are required in any of the departments that I've worked and represented. So I'd appreciate the European Court of Human Rights acknowledging this for the sinister issue it is. The IMF VCB, the wealth recovery has been quite huge that I have been responsible for, and all of that now is being damaged by people suffering from mental illness and stealing, again, from County Kerry, what doesn't belong to them. So apart from the fact that the Ombudsman for Children also has been contacted with unlawful care orders, these problems are spiralling out of control, and unfortunately there are individuals that just aren't making this situation safe for any of us anymore due to their mental health illnesses that have to be treated. So the Department of Agriculture is aware of the dangers of farm crime and the issues of my nuptials that have been offended, the obstruction of justice, the offence against the family unit, like unlawful care orders, to unlawfully withhold a child. That's quite serious. It's unsafe. It makes everyone, in a very unsafe situation when children are being harmed. So these people are active again in society. They're still a problem. They're still unwelcome on property that they don't have right or remit to, and they have interfered with royal protocol and royal patronage that is also quite offensive. So I'd appreciate the European Court of Human Rights realising what I'm tolerating with these people in society. Stealing, as usual, it's really disgraceful, and the fact that I've been of crime prevention, it just makes this so serious that this is a crime that I'm experiencing unduly, inexcusably and unforgivably since 2006, and now again since the abduction of my child with unlawful paperwork that isn't authenticated at all and that isn't in adherence with royal protocol. So these are all dangerous offences, and we've seen repercussions already in the southwest of Ireland. We have seen what these people are responsible for that isn't making our world safe. So as a royal mother, as a humanitarian, this is for the interest of the European Court of Human Rights. The individuals up in the offices in Dublin have been contacted, and without recompense or reparations, I'm still experiencing the damages, harms and losses of people's incompetence that aren't qualified with any of this circumstance to be offending the way that they're offending the law, the system is being offended. So it's a sad sign of the times, and I suppose as long as this problem is assisted and continued, then I think there's going to be more of what has already been seen in Southwest Ireland, and that's as a consequence of people not doing what's right. And when people don't do what's right, sad sign of the times. So this is with regard to ASBOs in Southwest Ireland, active since 2006, that are still of theft and fraud. And the issue of keys, bunch of keys stolen from me last Friday that are still from my possession, and all the belongings, I must say, the contents of 18 Rock Street, interfered with as a stolen property that is not making people's homes safe. So the health and wealth recovery that has arisen from my humanitarianism and the unlawful detainments in January 2017 of Kerry University Hospital representatives with the authorities or authoritarians, however they address the position they hold, doesn't do much to safeguard society. Stolen wealth from a mother, to be spending stolen wealth, or to not honour your debts, the debts that I'm owed, that's not making the circulation of wealth very safe. So people that have debts outstanding to my name for damages, harms and losses since 2006 and again since 2017 are a liability to the safety of society. It's a serious situation, and the sooner that people have the courage and bravery to address what they've done wrong, and when they have the courage to do what's right, then maybe we'll all have a safer world. But until these people are in society causing the crimes and offence that they're causing because of their neurosis with mild farmland, Stacks Mountain, Kilflynn and Ardfur, Tubbertail. The longer that this goes on, it brings down the level of safety, unfortunately, with crime being conducted and supported again as usual from Southwest Ireland. So this is an update for the European Court of Human Rights. The issue of corruption is continuing. It's a sad sign of the times.